Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with jazz guitarist Gilad Hekselman. He talked about his latest 2018 CD, Ask for Chaos, and his childhood in Israel and how he studied classical piano from the age of 6 and began studying guitar at the age of 9. From 12 to 14, he performed regularly with a band of a weekly television show, and since coming to New York in 2004, he has established a reputation as one of the most promising guitarists playing at all major jazz clubs in New York, like the Blue Note, the Jazz Standard, Dizzy's Club, and Smalls. So please get to know him and dig this interview, my friends.
Thank you for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just dive right into the topic of the hour. Your latest release, September 7th, 2018, Ask for Chaos.
Yeah.
A great title. Talk to me about this album. How do you feel about it?
I mean, yeah, that's a big topic. First of all, just in terms of the bands, I'm really happy. Those are two brand new trios for me after having the same trio for 10 years with Joe Martin and Marcus Gilmore. So I'm excited about that part, which is that it just sounds very different from my other records. But also, this has been my first release in 3 years. I guess it's gonna be my first release in 3 years or so. I'm excited to put this music out there finally. It was recorded over a year ago already. I'm looking forward to sharing it with everyone.
So you were born in Israel and studied classical piano from the age of 6. And then you got into guitar.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when you were from 12 to 14, you were in a band on a weekly children's television show. You've been very busy from the word go. So talk to me about growing up in Israel. Talk to me about how you got involved with music and more specifically jazz.
Well, it wasn't jazz from the get-go. So at first, so like you said, I studied, I guess classical would be a big word for what I studied, but, you know, just studied some beginner piano when I was a kid, and then I was actually more attracted to the drums, so I wanted to switch to drums, and then I had a neighbor that wouldn't allow it, so my next best choice was the guitar. So when a lot of my neighbors growing up were guitar players, so they would show me stuff, and, you know, we're talking about rock music, so they would show me, like, pentatonic scale and all that kind of stuff, you know, that you first learn on the guitar. And I had some teachers there. Growing up in Israel, I mean, musically speaking, at least, it's interesting because it's in a way it's similar to New York in the sense that it's a melting pot of many cultures. On the one hand, you get the Europeans that move to Israel, so they bring in all the classical music, and then you have people from Morocco, people from Lebanon, and then you have also artists that brought in music from South America. So there's so many influences from all over the world just in Israel in a small place. So that was just coming up, you know, learning how to play an instrument. That was kind of the beginning of that. But then, more specifically, studying jazz was a pretty classic process for a lot of guitar players, where like we go through rock and then we would go like more towards like progressive rock or stuff or fusion. And then what really made me fall in love with jazz was starting to go to school, high school in Tel Aviv or near Tel Aviv, called Tel Meilin, and that's where a lot of the Israeli musicians you probably heard of went through. And they had a really strong jazz program with really great teachers and a lot of emphasis on tradition, and that was probably what really got me into real jazz.
So what about jazz musicians and music and albums? What do you listen to? Who was really influential on you?
Man, so many. I always kind of freeze when people ask me those questions. There's like, the list is overwhelmingly long. It's definitely not limited to guitar players, even though I have my love for a lot of guitar players. But if I had to choose, like in jazz, my biggest influences would be mostly like piano players, saxophone players, singers, and maybe drummers. And I definitely checked out, you know, growing up and still today, checked out a lot of piano players, you know, Bill Evans, Ahmad Jamal, Keith Jarrett, Brad Meldau, Wynton Kelly, like the list goes on, and then saxophone player Coltrane, Dexter, Ben Webster, Coleman Hawkins, Foster Young, and of course, some of my biggest influences are just my peers or people that I've worked with or been around. So, I could definitely say that like somebody like Mark Turner or somebody like Marcus Gilmore, somebody like Aaron Parks, people that I work with, they all influence who I am musically as well.
So prior to winning the American Israel Cultural Foundation Scholarship for Studies at the New School in New York, did you have a dream of leaving your homeland for America?
Yeah, that scholarship actually, I got that already after I moved. So, the dream to move to America was implanted in my brain since I was in high school. They always told us, then if you're really serious, the next move is to go to New York. So that was kind of almost obvious to me that I wanted to do that. But after coming here when I was 18 for a couple of months, basically me and a friend of mine, we decided to come here for a couple of months, just check out the scene and see if we like it. After those 2 months, it was not a question. There was no question in my mind that I wanted to move here and live here and spend some time around the scene. So I got back to Israel, and then when I was 21, I started going to the new school, the university.
You get to New York. You've played at the Blue Note, Jazz Standard, Dizzy, Smalls. You finally realized this dream. You played with a lot of big people on the scene like Chris Potter and Mark Turner and Anat Cohen. Mm-hmm. What was it like in the beginning when this dream started getting realized, where you were on these stages that you would hope that you would play on?
It's still a dream. It's still not obvious to me. Every time, it's one thing to say like this and that artist, and I still catch myself like thinking, wow, like that's somebody who like I used to listen to in my bedroom when I was a kid, and now I get to play with them. So that doesn't really cease to amaze me. But also, the same feeling I guess with audiences. When people actually show up to my gig, to me that's amazing. Like people actually, that was a dream of mine. Like to be able to play for people and be able to make music that touches people the same way that when I was growing up and obsessing over music, the same way that music touched me. I'm able to reproduce some of that. So that to me is amazing. That's really living the dream is kind of a joke term, but it's true. It's kind of like it's unbelievable that I'm able to do this.
So you've been a regular performer live. You've released a great amount of albums up to this point in your life. How do you feel about your career, and what is next for you?
Probably more of the same. The only thing that's different now is that I started this label for this record, Hexaphonic Music, and the idea behind that is to eventually have more flow output. So not having every record be like a massive project and a big release, but every once in a while release something very casually, like, oh, here's an idea. This friend of mine, we play all the time. And it will be really nice to just document it and release it. So I want to release more music, and I want to try more new things. Maybe if I have one criticism of my musical output, and it had its upside for sure, but I released every project was linear to the last one, so it kept being an evolution. But there wasn't anything that was completely out of the ordinary. Like I have some dreams about recording with strings. I have some dreams about writing some music for voice with lyrics and writing some songs, more singer-songwriter kind of thing. I have dreams to play with several drummers. I have et cetera. So, the industry was always slower than my ideas. So I'm hoping that now that I have this new output, and once it gets going, I'll be able to just get more music and more diversified music out there.
So why do you love jazz?
So many reasons, but you get to have such freedom and such insight into your own thing, your own yourself, without just through music, and in many ways that words can't really express otherwise. And I love the connection with the people on the bandstand, and I love the connection to the moment. the fact that the music could go anywhere at any point in time. That's very appealing to me. I like to live life and play music in that way.
Right on. So my final question to you is this. Everyone has this vision of who you are. They perceive you as a certain thing. Your family, your friends, your fans, but you know yourself best. Who do you think you are?
It's like that saying. Do you have any idea who I think I am?
Yeah, that's right. It is. It's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, who do I think I am? I don't know, man. Just a dude trying to play the guitar best he can, trying to be a good daddy and a good husband and a good human being to my fellow sentient beings.
Right on. Very noble, man. Very noble. Gilad, thank you for taking some time out to talk about the album and your life and music, and good luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Joe. It's nice talking to you, man.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Israel, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Gilad for his time, music, and his stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.